You're from Washington State, right?
Yeah, I'm from Washington.
So good.
Oh, I see you now.
Yep.
My eyeball.
Yeah, here you go.
Hi.
Well, I tell you what, I think we're officially, it's like 4:32, so which is like really good because once you're down in the Dominican Republic, you'll quickly learn about Dominican time is a time plus or minus 1 or 2 hours, you know, so that's typical of most countries in the Caribbean. But anyway, that's what's fun about missions is you get kind of developing their culture and realizing that time is not near as important to them and they're not near as rushed. A lot of these other countries have lower rates of anxiety and depression. So who knows? But anyhow, just want to welcome it. Of course, go through and just find out who's all on the call. I know I got several emails of folks who had plans and that way afterwards I will email to everybody the link to where you can watch the recording. So that just help with reminding yourself. The goal of today is for folks to meet one another. Think about right now. It's certainly not to give you all of the information you need prior to July. We'll have a little bit more details regarding our time in July. But I just want to really welcome everybody and they're all joining us. So anyhow, if you're looking at the participant list, you'll see GAHO. And so that's me, Eric Penniman, and this is my wife, Amy. And so she and I have been leading the Dominican 8 or 9 years, but now we are alternating years with our good friends, Eugene and Allison Long. So anyhow, so they won't be coming this year. If any have come on the trip and they know the Longs, they will come there. Magdalena, who I was just talking to, we got to meet on her Ecuador trip. Amy and I led the Ecuador trip last for alternating trips as we wanted to make sure that we were available to help out wherever GHO needed us to help. Really thrilled about the trip this year. I think once again it's going to be amazing, an amazing time, and God already has great plans set up. Go down the list as names I'm seeing. And some names, all I see is a phone number. It doesn't have your name there. I failed to ask your name at the end, and I just chime in and introduce yourself here. So anyhow, here. So hey, Dorothy.
Hi.
Yeah. So if you want to just share a little bit about yourself, where you're from, is whether you're students or a dental sterilization expert or a family physician. And I should have introduced myself here.
Yeah.
So anyway, Eric Penniman, I'm a family doctor in the team.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dorothy. I'm a dental sterilization technician, and I am not a student. Graduated in 2016 with a bachelor's in molecular biology from the University of Washington. And then after that, classes, and I finished last year around 2018. And right now I'm just working as a dental and also studying for my DAT exam at the same time. And I've been looking for mission trip opportunities for a while. So I found Christian Medical Dental Association, and here I am, and looking forward to going the trip and getting some experience and work with the community.
Now that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. You want to say anything? Maybe just because you're obviously going to be taking the DATS and going to dental school. Gary and Marilyn are both on. They live in Fresno, California, and have practiced. Gary, and he's the dental director of the team, an outstanding dentist, and his son, actually two of his sons, has been coming on the trip for I think as long as I have, so like 13 years. So anyway, and that way you can welcome Dorothy, who's obviously going to be part of your team.
Good morning, Dorothy. It's good to hear that you're on the team. Looking forward to it. And that was a few years ago. We'll be glad to have you. It'll be experience and in the sense of knowledge and things and doing things. Marilyn has been involved too. I guess this is 15 years, and she's done the sterilization and she she has to turn that over to you completely, but we'll probably keep her doing that and let you do more chairside assisting of the procedures and materials and techniques and working with patients and all of that, if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Our son David is and his wife Alyssa, 13 years, and does a fantastic job. We're both in general dental, CAD/CAM technology, periodontal laser surgery, utilization and things. We've done our fair share of oral surgery and perio surgery. So looking forward to applying those things, meeting all of you. What else, Eric?
Can't hear you, Eric.
I was muted. You guys are good. So yeah, I muted ourselves there, Gary. And you know, I think as far as the rest of the dental team, I'm not sure Sally Darling could attend today. And so from that standpoint, we'll move on over to medical folks and physical therapy folks. But that sounds good. So let's see here. I see Justin is connected here. So Justin, you want to chime in here?
My wife, Sammy, is actually going on the trip too, but she's not able to attend the meeting. But I'm a cardiovascular years, and I'm currently in nurse practitioner school at Georgetown. And Sammy graduated pharmacy school in 2000. We've been, you know, looking around and doing a medical missions trip together was something we always wanted to do. And this year, we kind of did a lot of looking into this trip and thought it would be a good one, and I agreed. So we're really excited to go.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're excited to have both of you guys. And my plan is, since you're in nurse practitioner school, to have you hang out. Coming Jack Pike, and he couldn't attend today's meeting either. But so I think it'll be a great opportunity. And honestly, with your nursing background as well, I think it'll be greatly utilized. Certainly with Sammy, I know attend today. Michael is our lead pharmacist, and he'll be thrilled to have the support we have this year. Josh Daniel joining Sammy, and then we got Rebecca Choi, who I'm not sure she's on yet either. But yeah, so we'll have 4 pharmacists. So
Oh, wow.
which is awesome. Yeah, especially awesome because the area where the clinic gets a little bit of a bottleneck, so it's good to have all hands on deck. And then Michael's wife, Sue, she does, and so she's kind of acts as a pharmacy tech. So the pharmacy will run very, very well, and typically that means that for visits, and we'll touch base on that. So anyway,
sounds
all
great.
right, excellent.
Hey, Eric.
So
This
yes.
is Eric.
Yeah,
I have joined, and so I'm more on like finances and analytics, specifically a pharmacy benefit manager. And so I don't know what your plan was for me. I'm really interested in just being on a significant interest in pharmacy from the payer side, and obviously serving underprivileged is not, we're not strong interest in that aspect of this mission.
Right.
I think I could add some value there. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that'd be excellent. And it'll be awesome to have you. So I know you're up in the Twin City area, right? So do you work for
Yes.
United Healthcare? Okay. All right.
So they're owned by Blue Cross Blue Shield plans across the country. So
okay.
One of them being.
All right. Very good. Well, no, that'd be excellent to have you on the team. And Don and Sally have been on the trip numerous times. Yeah, and Don and Sally, if they were able to join us today, do you know?
They're unable to join today.
And so Nancy's your aunt. Am I getting the relationship right?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and I don't know if
I have
who's on, but that's okay. All right. Well, thanks for chiming in. That's good timing there. Okay. And so let's go to Julie. Julie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Julie. And my daughter, Maggie, will be attending a trip as well. She is in a junior in high school. Support in whatever capacity that we can. Neither one of us has been on a mission trip before. In Peru last summer through school, and we happen to be patients of Dr. trips for years and years, and it really encouraged us to come on this trip. So that's why we're here.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maggie. And you know, now she's kind of wavering, but she has wanted to be a doctor. So, you know, just for her to get the chance to see what all of the medical specialties kind of involve, interested in.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, it'll be an awesome experience for her. This team of students and high school students who have come on the trip, who were totally inspired in certain fields of the healthcare and used in a ministry type fashion. And so now we have many who have gone on to medical school, dental school, you name it. So I think she'll have an opportunity to hang out with a lot of different what she feels God's calling her to do. So that's exciting.
Right, and
excellent.
hopefully, you know, provide as much help as possible.
So when you get things in the mail, if you're not a health professional, you'll be listed as, call them logistics, and in the spirit that Jesus encouraged us to do, and Mark, much better title to call you guys servants, not in a harsh manner, but just it's what God calls all of us to be. Great. All right. Well, let's have Timothy introduce himself here.
Hello, can you guys? Hi, my name's Tim, or Timothy, you can call me Tim. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a physiotherapist. So not too long ago. I've never been on a missions trip before, so I'm really excited to join this team and I guess, yeah, I train in the University of Toronto, so in Canada again. So
That's awesome.
yeah, exactly. I'll be co-meeting all of you guys over in Dominican.
To have you, and Rick, who I know you've spoken to on the phone, he's actually at a global health outreach conference now. But anyhow, this is the preeminent trip for physical therapy. No physical therapy, or maybe one. And now this year, we're going to end up likely having 5 physical therapies to physical aid, and then a pre-PT student. So we're going to have a pretty phenomenal team in physical therapy this year. So
That's great to hear. Thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so let's go on to Abby.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Well, I am Abby, and I am an occupational therapist. I graduated in 2016, and I've worked both in the geriatric and pediatric field. School system, which is why the opportunity to go on this trip was perfect for this year, because I'll have the summer off. In a nursing home doing some PRN work, so I kind of keep my experience in both fields going, which is really nice. But is who led me to you guys. She's been on one of your, I believe, Africa trips, and she was going to try and come on this, but glad that I'm on the team.
Oh yeah, we're thrilled to have you, and I'm always excited to see fellow Tennesseans.
Thank you.
So yes, that's awesome. All right, how about Desmond?
Can you see me or hear me at
Oh
least?
yeah, yeah, there I can see you and hear you.
Hi, my name is Desmond, or Des. I live in Ithaca, New York, and I graduated from pharmacy school back in College of Pharmacy. In my time there, in my last year on rotations, I actually served on a clinic trip to Guatemala. And we saw altogether about like 1,000 patients or so in a week span. So it was awesome. You know, I was able to do blood pressure. So I really like the clinical aspect of this trip, and you know, just God's calling for me to be a part of the team.
Your idea of being able to be used in multiple areas. Obviously, you got expertise in pharmacy, so yeah, that sounds good. Let's see. We'll go on. Oh, go ahead. Oh, there. Okay. Let's see. Did you next?
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm Emma. I am from Huntington, West Virginia. I'm currently at Marshall University. I'm studying at the GMHC conference in Louisville this past November. So he somehow got me on this trip, so I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Actually, I had talked, and she had suggested that we have you added to our team just because she knew that we had several physical on the team, and we wanted to make sure that if there was only one on a team, sometimes at the last minute they cancel, and then you're left with nobody to mentor you. So you'll have plenty of mentors. And like I said, this is definitely the top. And one of the reasons is Rick Sherman, who is the head of physical therapy for all of Global Health. That's great. Love to have you on the team here. So, all right. So let's go to, we've already heard from Justin, Magda. So.
All right. Ready?
I think it's just starting.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay. So my name is Magdalena. I currently work at Walt Disney World as a host manager. With my and the later. I'm very excited for this trip. My parents are both in the WHO trip, so I'm very excited to ask and see where I can serve.
Oh yeah, well, we're excited to have you, and I'm always excited to have somebody on our in Spanish like yourself. So that'll be a treat for us to have as well. Manny's a veteran of our team here. Manny, are you out there?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Well, yes, Manny Venegas, my son, everybody, but we're here. And we, let's see, I came on the team the first time 8 or 9 years, at least 8 or 9 years ago, and been on the team at least 4, maybe 5 times. So it's a great leader, and we look forward to connecting again. This time I brought different children, and I'm thankful to have Joshua, my oldest son, coming with us.
So,
excellent.
Go into the medical field, also looking at family medicine, since my dad, I don't know if he mentioned, but he's a family doctor. So, get in another country. I've been in another country once on a mission trip that was for a week in Nicaragua. My dad also went with. Excited to have the opportunity to help you guys out and do whatever I can to be an assistant to y'all.
Great. So awesome. Good to see you again, Manny. Can actually see you guys on video here, so that's good. All right. That you were on the team, but I'm not sure you got a formal introduction in. Do you want to introduce yourself, Rebecca? Yep.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm a pharmacist, and I've been on this trip 1-2 years. And my boyfriend will be joining me. Could I introduce him?
Sure.
Thank you for having me. I am a pediatric intensivist. I went to medical school in New York, Southern California, here in LA, and then I did my critical care fellowship at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and for the past care of the underserved children and families in Los Angeles. But the past few months, I've been really challenged and called this country and go take care of children and families who don't have the resources that we have here in the U.S. So I'm really, really thankful for you guys to have me.
We're thrilled to have you, and my hope is that we don't need your end up
I hope so too.
Kids that sick, but anyway, I know we will see a lot of kids, typically children. We do have a pediatrician joining us, Dr. Pam Liang, who's been on the trip before. She And I know they had plans this afternoon. Otherwise, she'd be introducing herself. I also have a in the contemplation phase. I think he's coming. So anyway, so I think we're going to have a pretty good pediatric a group of, I think we have 5, maybe 6 of us who are family doctors. So so anyhow, we're going to be a strong. Well, I'm going to just go through a little short devotional and give you guys some information.
This is Laura Borkstead from Colorado. I don't know that my name is showing up, probably just my phone number.
Oh, yes. Perfect. I'm glad you chimed. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Laura. I'm a physical therapist here in Colorado. Patient, adult, and pediatrics in the acute side and acute rehab. This will be my first trip with you family growing up, and just wanted to continue that also professionally now as one. And thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thrilled to have you. Yes, thanks for chiming in. So yeah, let me have a chance to introduce themselves. Yeah, go ahead.
Waldron, and I guess I'm domiciled in bringing 2 grandchildren. That's all.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's great. My wife is sitting next to me, and let me scoot over and try to move the webcam so you can see her. Well,
hi.
There we go. All right. Here's my beautiful wife. So she acts as the assistant team leader, really helping the servants on the team and getting them connected. So I'll let her say hello more.
Yeah, hi, I'm Amy, and things run as smoothly as possible. I don't have a medical background, but after doing these trips quite a few times, I've gotten trained on a large team like this. I will work with, used to be called logistics, with the servants, and so I'll be making a schedule for all of the servants, kind of rotating you through all of the different areas of the clinic. Super excited to meet everybody. And my one other request is that I also will do the roommate list, put you together. If you are a parent-child, just email me and let me know if you want to room together. Sometimes have a different experience, so just let me know if you do have a roommate request, and I will try to honor that.
All right, excellent, good. Anyone else out there that hasn't had a chance to introduce? All right, if not, I'm going to go ahead and dig into the devotional information, and then we're going to have a time of questions and comments and whatever the Lord leads you on. So anyway, I'm going to put your phones on mute, and that way we won't hear any background noise if your child starts to something here. So anyhow, just so that you can see my video, I'm stopping my video so you can see the PowerPoint here. Are you guys able to hear me, hopefully? All right. So obviously this is for our team here. All right. I'm going to pull up the chart. Now that you guys have introduced yourselves here, you can see kind of where we're. 25, I actually think 46 people committed to the team. And in fact, you'll see. And so we can get rid of the question mark. Yellow means you filled out the application and it's been But anyway, and so Christina, we think, is coming on the trip. And so that'll be our 5th physical therapist here. I show the chart just so you get an idea how we organize the team. The one area we always have a shortage of, we always have a shortage of dentists. Dental care in the third world countries always lags even behind really a country like the Dominican that is really on a developing standpoint. And so there is some medical care in the Dominican Republic, but oftentimes very little dental care. And so we'll have 3 dentists that help us out as well. But if you know of any Christian dentists that you think you could recruit, them up with me, either email or cell phone, and I would love to touch base with them. But these are the basic areas we bring, and then sometimes we'll have optometry if we don't find optometry. So, okay, let's see here. Back to our slide. One thing on the trip, and you're probably, hopefully this doesn't crash, but here we go. Fundraising, not only for yourself, but particularly within your churches, do something. And our wheelchair ministry has become a really amazing ministry of this team. It's brought only 5 wheelchairs, and we ran out way before the end of the trip here. In fact, the story that is on our donation. But anyway, now we generally try to bring 30 wheelchairs. Well, one thing that's happened in the last are becoming a lot more particular, as is the ground crew at the Santo Domingo airport. And so you yourself are not the disabled person. Using the wheelchair is becoming more difficult and somewhat expensive. Purchasing brand new wheelchairs from Amazon, and they get shipped for free to the port in Miami. Missionary Church, they have a connection where we get discounted shipping from the port of Miami into Santo Domingo. So fundraising, we'll order up the wheelchairs, have them shipped to the port of Miami, and they'll get down. Canes, walkers, and some physical therapy supplies that we will give out, sometimes on home visit. It's an amazing part of the ministry. I encourage you guys. So after this meeting, you'll see the link. I had sent this to you guys, not to forget about that aspect of it, because that's an important part here. Of what Monday morning usually looks like. Actually, you can't really tell. This crowd isn't actually that big. Usually on Monday morning, 150 to 200 people waiting in line to see us. And so we always are in high demand, which has opened up many doors for ministry. A couple of years we ministered to the military and directly to the our team. The Dominican Republic looks forward to our trip. We always try to go to a new Global Health Outreach and the Christian Medical Dental Association. We want to reach the last, the lost, and the least. We're needed, and where there's suffering and there's hurt. And so, but that's just a picture. The reason why I put this in here is one of the key aspects of our team is bringing teenagers. My son-in-law, who this is before he married my daughter, and he thought he wanted to be a doctor, came on the team, hung know it, he's going to dental school, and he's now an endodontic resident over at UNC Chapel Hill very soon. But so I threw that picture in there just to kind of give you guys some intrigue, but especially for the always very excited about the young folks and excited about what God's going to call you guys to do. So, okay. Just because the closer you get to July, sometimes the plane tickets go up in price. Now, I don't understand, and they'll be cheaper, maybe a month from now. I went ahead and purchased my tickets. I know a few of you guys have. For this team, because we have such a gracious host family, this team, tickets yourself, or you can have Sue, who's the travel agent person that works with Global Health Outreach in Bristol, Tennessee. Generally, we will arrive between 1:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Saturday, July 6th. And from the Oasis Church, and they will have the proverbial sign. If you're on the major flight coming often, huge banner with several welcoming you. But for those who are going to arrive early in the afternoon, where there might only be 4 or a smaller welcome party, but it'll for that welcome party, someone's coming to get you. So we will communicate as we get closer on who's coming when, and folks might come in at 1:30, some might come in at 2:30. We'll let people know. So you're looking for your fellow teammates, and you go to the hotel. So anyhow, so it's up to you and whether or not you want to book it yourself. So we'll depart on July 14th. That's Sunday. Usually the first flight out is 6 a.m. And my only generally want you to the airport no less than 2.5 hours beforehand, which means that you got to get, you're leaving the hotel around 3, sometimes 3:30. So it's an early morning if you choose that 6 a.m. flight. On the West Coast, you pretty much need to catch that flight to make your entire itinerary flight all the way back to the West Coast. Some folks who live on the East Coast may not leave out till 2 p.m. in the afternoon. But occasionally, folks who have been on the trip, you may decide that you and your family member want to stay on for a vacation a day or two. If the last part of your trip won't be covered. So anyway, we're hearing a little bit of background noise. Hitting mute on your cell phone, that way there isn't any background noise. That's perfect. Okay. Well, actually, like I said, we're going to get to questions at the end, but this gives you some guidance, and I'll be like my screen is frozen. There we go. All right, we're going to go into the devotion. So the reason why it's the same reason why we're going to the people of the Dominican Republic. Luke chapter 4, verses 18 to 21 says, the actual words of Jesus, "For he's anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim that captives will be set free, and that the time of the Lord's favor has come." He rolled up the scroll, handed it back to the attendant, and sat down intently. So Jesus here was about 13 when he was sharing this, and he was reading this to the experts. He went on to say that the scripture that you just heard has been fulfilled this very day. And so, but that's why God's a sacrifice for our sins, but to reach and bring the good news to the poor and to the captives and the what we intend to do. Mark 10:45 says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others." We are his ambassadors, and so that should cause those to encounter to want to meet our King. That just as Jesus himself, who is God, he took the form of a man and he became a servant and came to serve the Republic. Some of us have sort of prestigious careers, and we're setting that all aside, and we're coming. If you're not a health professional, that God works through anybody on the team, and you don't have to be a dentist or a doctor to. Everybody's important, and God will use you on this team in an amazing way. Isaiah 1:17 says, "Learn to defend the cause of orphans, fight for the rights of widows." And certainly we have at times on this trip also gone to orphans. We're pretty literal when it comes to the mission of Global Health Outreach. We're direct out of Scripture, and God up here. So here's a few testimonies from people who are poor. These are direct quotes from the book. Not read it. From Moldova, a poor person is that everything is terrible. We are cripples. We are afraid of everything. We depend on everyone. No one needs us. We are like garbage that everyone wants to get rid of. And so a poor person from Moldova. From Guinea, they say, when I don't have any food, I borrow, mainly from neighbors and children, when I have nothing to help feed the family. I'm not well when I'm unemployed. It's terrible. And from Cameroon, the ability to make themselves heard. And so for many, the actual state of being poor, and for this, having food insecurity, not having enough money to just provide for your family. And when they live in a state, they feel like they're ashamed and they're humiliated. And the reason why I share this is we're going to be encountering many clinic. They should feel the encouragement from our team and from the Holy Spirit. And they should feel like, boy, you know what? That you're the most important thing on earth, and we're going to do whatever we can to care for you. And you won't believe how that opens them up. That has been amazing over the years now. We literally, and I tried to add up of those who have committed their lives to Christ, close to 7,000 brand new Christians as a result of this team in July, going for 13 straight years. When you follow what Scripture says and you show up and you love in a humble fashion, the Holy Spirit's been amazing. The average person in the world lives on $2 a day. And so the average American lives on $90 a day. So it's massively different in regards to being wealthy. One thing to keep in mind, and you'll learn if you read the book, When Helping Hurts, is he defines poverty not just from standpoint, but also from a spiritual standpoint. And one of the things you'll find is that oftentimes people who live in a poor, they don't have the poverty that many people in America have, where America has one of the highest incidences of poverty. Takes on a different form, and just because we have money does not mean Americans don't suffer from poverty. The 17 says, we know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give, has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need, but shows no compassion. How can God's love be in that person? And, we may not give money directly to people, but we're going to love on them and we're going to give them the care, and they're going to know the love of Christ when we're done. book, and you can, because you're going on a global health outreach trip, you can get this book at a discounted price. This is the email this to you, but you can also go to the CMDA bookstore and get that book. Okay, so that's the devotion. Just as a checklist that I want you guys to think about is a passport. If you don't have a passport, find it, look at it, see when it expires. We require that your passport does not expire within 6 months, July 14th. If it has an expiration date of December 14th or later, then I would encourage you to go and get your passport updated. So anyway, so make sure you know that. You don't need a visa or anything. Most of you on the phone have completed online application. This year, this team has filled up faster. And so God's calling a lot of people on this trip. I've already had to turn away some people. And but if you haven't completed of the way Service Wreath works, which is where you do the applications, they don't let us close the trip for pharmacists and leave it open for dentists. It's either open or closed. And so we try to put a note on there what we most need, which we're leaving the trip open because we're hoping to recruit a couple more dentists. But definitely, if you wouldn't mind finishing up the online app, you guys have done that, so that's awesome. Fundraising. So you can send letters to folks. The service, now that you're officially on the trip, there is a link. So if you go to your own page, you can email that link to you. And when they donate, the donation, of course, they can use their debit card, their credit card, they can mail checks, either Medical Dental Association. So they can get a tax deduction when they donate for your trip if you choose to. Support their own trip, but always find prayer partners, prayer support. You can send out letters, you can people to pray for you via Facebook or Instagram, whatever you want to use. So anyway, definitely encourage you to do that. It's an important thing that we can be doing. A lot of the last minute logistics stuff we'll update you as we close away here. So pray for the Oasis Church. You are going to love the Oasis Church. This is my on earth. I hate to say it out loud that I probably like it better than my home church here, but I absolutely love trip. It's my favorite church I've ever been to in a foreign country, and so you will love the folks there. And so just watch them, and you will just grow in the Lord. Pray for the Dominicans, and there's Haitians as well. About 20% of the population of the Dominican Republic are Haitians who have come across, have documentation, and they're under extra scrutiny right now because the Dominican Republic is trying to ensure that they have their own immigration issue there. But pray for the Dominicans and the Haitians that will come to our clinic, and certainly there's a lot of ministry that goes on within the team, and that's always something that I'm tuned into and I'm excited about. That, the Dominican Republic, while it's in the Caribbean, very low, and the malaria, of course, you know, are spread by mosquito bites at night. That's why in Africa you wear in a net that goes over your bed so you don't get bitten by mosquitoes at night. During the daytime, the mosquitoes generally don't spread malaria, spread chikungunya, and they potentially spread Zika. We've never had anyone get Zika. I know a lot of people are worried about that. having children, the number one thing to bring is strong mosquito repellent. I will say that there hasn't been a massive amount of mosquitoes. We did go to the sugarcane fields to work in the sugarcane fields, and that time there were a lot of mosquitoes. But anyway, so we'll really emphasize mosquito. There's no vaccine against dengue. There's no vaccine against Zika. They're working on it. It's in its final stages of being dengue and Zika. For now, the best thing we can do is avoid mosquito bites. The standard, for the most part, except for typhoid, most people now should have had hepatitis A and B. We recommend both. The time is you take a pill every other day for 4 doses, and it lasts 4 years. Otherwise, you can get an. So if you haven't had that, I would recommend that. That's a good idea. On the trip, most of us wear the hottest month in the Dominican Republic. As you know, it's in the Caribbean, so it's humid. And where we do clinic, typically one of their community schools that are basically just a concrete building. The windows are just, well, you'll be in the shade, but plan on it being 89 to 90 degrees during clinic. And so we all sweat, but you'll sweat, so we'll drink lots. But you want to wear the thinnest clothing you can. You definitely do not want to wear jeans. You don't want to wear thick pants. So think thin clothing, and that's why scrubs usually work out. Oftentimes you can get scrubs loaned to you from local hospital, or you can buy them. And sometimes you can actually even go to a thrift store like Goodwill or the Salvation Army and get them. You send out a few emails. I would love to send out a group to text, because I know most of us use our phone. But in the past, that hasn't always worked out well, because the group to text things don't necessarily work. But so check your emails. A few weeks beforehand, we'll start doing daily email devotions. And of course, spiritually prepare yourself for the trip. Supplies, if you're in the healthcare field, most of the medicines we bring are generic meds that we buy like Blessings International, King Pharmaceuticals, etc. And so we typically bring most of the meds, drug samples, just because they're brand name drugs, usually meant for more chronic illness, and to actually treat something, it's not the ideal way to bring medicine. Ask you to bring your own meds generally. As part of your trip, fees go to support the purchase. Really awesome prices. Physical therapy supplies, we talked a little bit about. A second bag, most of us will not be taking. And so one thing I would ask you is, most of us would pay $50 for that second bag. So if you're not paying that, on our donation page for PT supplies. So, and consider donating much more than that, because we need about 4,000 on this trip. Okay, so how much money should you bring on the trip? That's always a question. Ticket, literally 98% of the money that you will spend on this trip will be spent. Where you'll stay, all the transportation, all of your food will be provided for. The only reason why you in the airports traveling through the United States on your connections, you may want to bring some money. And And so having a little money there is a good idea. Most of us are, of course, transitioning more to just using. Go shopping on the trip on our leisure day. You could use your credit card debit. Really that much that needed. And of course, when you bring cash on the trip, it could always be stolen. You could lose it. Know that I will have some extra emergency funds as a trip leader in case we need that. Fee does cover insurance for everybody coming on the trip, which includes emergency medical evacuation. So if you get back to a hospital who's accepting you, and we'll take care of you that way. So that's covered by the insurance. So for much money. Is it safe? That's why this is considered a family trip. Trips. Now, not to say the Dominican Republic doesn't have some crime issues. They've even had some kidnapping. And we have an awesome church host, and we have not had significant safety issues. And so please do not lose sleep for a month worrying about the safety of our trip here. Pray for safety. Not like going to Afghanistan or Indonesia into a part of the country where we are not welcomed. So we are very much welcome. The Dominican Republic loves us, and they personally have shown some favoritism to us to make. We're going to stay at either the Holiday Inn or the Radisson Hotel. So the hotel will be American. So you don't worry about the hotel. It'll have air conditioning. It'll have a meeting room for us. The food will be in the hotel for. We'll eat at the clinic site, and so the church will generally get some food from a establishment. The only time that you generally, if you're going to bring snacks like little bags of peanuts or something, bring it at the clinic at lunch. And if you get grumpy because you're hungry, grabbing a bag of peanuts can certainly help out in regards to that. Hey, where are we going to minister? Global Health Outreach sends 3 to 4 trips a year to the Dominican Republic. They're usually spending a lot of time prepping for the next one. They have one coming up in March. They have another one in June, and then they have our trip. The barrio that we're going to be ministering in until June. So don't panic. They always come through, and they always have things. That covers kind of the commonly asked questions and what I wanted to cover today. But if people want to, please do so.
Yeah, I have a question about the flight.
Okay.
I was reading the manual, and it mentioned traveling from a gateway city, and so I like to check to see
Yes.
if doing that.
Absolutely. So the gateway city generally is Miami. It usually works out that about 70% there's more flights in and out of Santo Domingo than any airline. And most of those leave from Miami. Relook at my own itinerary. I think, believe it or not, we're flying through Charlotte. And I don't know, Manny, I know you live in South Carolina. But anyhow, so we're going to be going through Charlotte. If you're from the West Coast, the Fresno folks usually Dallas to Miami, Miami to Santo Domingo. So as we get closer, you might want to just hold off. And once the West Coast, I can clue you in, and you can, purchase it so you can connect up. If you're up originally in Dallas, it just depends. Washington, you might go Washington, Chicago, Miami to. stopovers you have, the higher the likelihood that you won't have major delays. So anyhow, yeah.
We're actually going through Atlanta, it looks like. So if anybody's headed through there, yeah, we have about, so great.
Yeah, that's good. So Abby is from Chattanooga. I'm guessing Abby flight on Delta from Atlanta. That's a great option, a highly reliable flight. So anyway.
Okay. Her to do it for us, because honestly, I'd rather her just do it. I'm not very good at the whole flight.
Yeah, that's perfect. And so as soon as it's over with, I will I'll add an attachment, not only this, but I'll add Sue by way, and that way you'll have her email address and you can text her. If you don't buy plane tickets, Sue will be reaching out to you. But it's always best just to reach out to Sue. If you have purchased your tickets, and I know some have, please send the itinerary. Sue puts together a master itinerary for myself, so that way on the day of travel, I'm tracking everybody and freak out if all of a sudden you miss a connection. You're thinking that, oh man, what are we going to do? We're already on top of it. It's amazing. Every year that we have very few travel problems. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Coming to the Dominican home, there have been a few, and Gary can give you some stories on that. But anyhow, that's part of the mission times in travel. But great question. Good. Any other questions? All right. Excellent. Well, we're going to fill in long. I wanted to have this first meeting just so everybody knows that they're welcomed, so you can trip and then really just start getting excited about it, because it's really awesome. We have devotion in the morning and the evening, but we always have a lot of fun too. So don't think that it's just all. We definitely make sure that we're having a lot of fun along the way. So anyway, definitely to give me a call. I'll have my cell phone number and the email I'll send out again, and obviously you'll have my email address. And we'll get everybody all set and ready to go. So, all right. Any other final questions? Let's see. It says Dorothy's talking, but I'm not hearing Dorothy.
Yeah, I'm not currently.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and close in prayer then, and get back to your Sunday. So, Father God, I just thank you so much for this team. I thank you for impressing on so. Obviously, you have a great ministry planned, and we just pray that we could be your humble servants, come alongside and do exactly what you would call us. The trip donations that'll come in, impress on the hearts of those that you're asking to give for the team. Lord, we just put our trust in you, knowing that you will have all the details taken care of. And we just thank you for the team as they get ready for this trip. And we thank you in Jesus' holy name. Amen. All right. You guys have an awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Thanks again.